Hello, yeah, welcome to this part. I believe we've enjoyed the first and the second part. So this particular part will look at basic web design that will help PHP developers. So I'm receiving lots of questions. How do I connect CSS to HTML? I'm having issues and all those things. So I need to sort them out really fast here in this tutorial. So let's get started. So I have my Visual Studio Code, my IDE open. So let me try to open a folder. So htdocs, let me just make this different, web design folder. Okay, and then that's the folder I want to open. So I select it and it opens it. Okay, so here I can easily change this to, it doesn't have to be PHP, so you can just use a raw web design to do it, a raw HTML to do that. So web design, okay, let me spell that right, web design. So let's see, do we have anything there? I didn't spell that right. Okay, web design. Okay, so that's the parent directory. So we need to create files for that. So a web design basic setup. So we need index.html and so with index.html, what we do is we have HTML tag. Okay, so HTML opens and closes. Okay, every tag. Okay, some tags in HTML open and closes. There are others that open and they are self-closing. Okay, so we have HTML. So HTML is just like a human being that has a head and a body. Okay, a living thing has head and has a body. So we have head and then we have a body. All right, so inside the head, now let's see. If I write something here, here, here in the head, please ignore my spelling in the head. Okay, and I have another one here in the body. Body. Okay, so you notice that the head's on will not show. Okay, here in the head is supposed to show in the head, but everything shows in the body. So to write something on the head, that thing will actually show here, which is a proper place to show. So you have a title tag and a title tag. So you can have something like this, my website, and then you have home. Okay, you usually see something like this. So that's that's it. So it shows my website home on that head title. Okay, so every other thing appears in the body. All right, so let's just quickly see a few tags that we can discuss. So HTML has tags, makes use of tags. So actually the HTML is for structuring. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It's used for structuring a web page. Okay, so it's used for structuring a web page and by implication a website. So a web page is just a page that has the structure for a particular page on a website, whereas a website is a collection of many different web pages and resources, okay, like images, fonts, I mean, CS, every other thing that would make up that, and then we put them together in a folder and we save them. Okay, so we have this and we have header h1 to h5 tags. They are header tags, so big bold header. Okay, so we have this and this. So we have big bold header, so we have it up to h5. Okay, so h5, so this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and of course this is 5. So you see their differences in sizes. So this is the H1, the H2, the H3. So as it goes down, it reduces in sizes, but they come with one formatting, bold and bigger. All right. So we have this as header tags. Okay. So we have different other tags. We have div tags that can be used to, demarcate different parts. Okay, so we can have div, and this is one div. Okay, and we have another one, another div, another. So we have, this is another div. Okay, so div, different lines. But if we are working with spans, okay, if we say span, my first span, okay, and then I copy that to another line. Let me just put it so that you won't think that it's because it's on the same line. So I copy this to another line, my second span. So you notice that span are always on the same line. Okay, so spans are useful, especially when you want to make a specific change to, maybe you want this another to have a different color but maintain the other styles within the div. Okay, so you can use span to really specify something like this style, maybe color or red, something like that. So that should work. So use span to do that. Okay, so I won't really dig deep. I think we should have another separate course on web design, or you check out my web design tutorials where I talk more about it. But most of my students were complaining they are not able to link their HTML to their CSS. Okay, so I'll show you exactly how to do that. So first and foremost, you create a file within the same folder, and call it any name. I call it style.css, I call it main.css, any name at all, but small case, no spaces, not starting with numbers. Okay, main.css. okay, I'm taking it to the left. Okay, so we have our HTML still working. The CSS page won't show. So the CSS actually stands for cascading style sheet, and the purpose of the CSS is to add design to this ugly HTML. HTML is structured to be a layout language. Okay, is structured to be like a skeletal system within our bodies. It's not gonna, you will not see a skeleton being beautiful. No matter how the person looks beautiful outwardly, the skeleton of the person is just the structure. It's just the hanger that hangs the body. So HTML is just like that. Okay, it doesn't have any intentions for beautification. So, but then it comes with a makeup. So a kind of makeup, a kind of beautification for HTML is called CSS. So you use CSS to make HTML look beautiful. Okay, so you understand me now. Now CSS has this syntax: selector, selector, okay, and then property, and value. Okay, and then you end with this. So this is a CSS syntax. So I comment it because we will not run this. Okay, so let me just comment it from top. So yeah, oh my god. So all right, so I comment it because we will only look at this and then we create. So what is selector? When you go over to HTML selector, these HTML, everything inside the tag, these are selectors. Apart from the title tag, these are selectors. So you target which selector you want to style, and then you perform the styling. So let's say you target body, and then we pick our selector, which is body. And what's our property? Now property is an attribute. Okay, when we come over to HTML, so in HTML it's called attribute, like yeah, of course, color. Okay, so what behavior, so to speak, do you want to style in this HTML? So you can talk about background. Okay, background color or background, pretty much the same. So what do you want it to be? You want it to be blue. Okay, the value for that property should be blue. So if we do that, guess what will happen? Look at this and look at that. What should happen? Will the body become blue? You think it's yes, but it's actually no, it won't, for one reason. So I've refreshed that and it's still not working. So the reason is that we have a cool HTML page and a cool CSS page, but they are not connected together. HTML and CSS, the best marriage ever. Okay, you have to marry them together for them to work very well. So you need a tag called link. Okay, is a self-closing tag. We'll talk about that later. So it has three attributes. The first one is href, the second one is rel, and the third one is style sheet. Style sheet. Okay, sorry, the third one is, my bad, the third one is type. Sorry. So we have href, rel, and type. All right, so this href stands for hyperreference, which is a link to this file, to whatever file you are designing, you are using to design HTML. So you can have different CSS files, okay, that perform different design functions to a particular HTML. So you add all of them, okay. So for each of them you have a specific one. So this one is called main.css. So you call it exactly that name, main.css. Then what's the relationship between this file and that file? So you just say it's a style sheet. So that's the relationship. Now what kind of file is it? Is it PNG or whatever? So it's text/css. So once you get these three attributes, I call them attributes here. Okay, so once you get these three attributes pointing correctly to the CSS, you don't need other thing, it will work very well. So we have our blue background just because of this. So if you comment this line out, nothing works because the connection is off. Okay, so we have that connection. Okay, we have body. All right, so we can style any other thing. We can style, let's say this is let me have a paragraph somewhere. This is a paragraph. Let me just say I have a paragraph here. It should be outside this span actually. So I have a paragraph, okay, and I have another paragraph here. So I want to specify and style only the paragraph. So what if I come over here and it's a selector, so I just call it paragraph. Notice that there is no dot and there is no hash before it. Okay, there is no symbol before it. Let me change this back to UK. Okay, there is no hash before it, there is no dot. So you just call it P, and then we can say background color green. Okay, notice there is no quotes in the green. So if we do that, you see that we have, this is a very terrible design. But don't mind us, it's for practice purpose. Okay, so we have that, and then if we say the green should come out with a color of white, that's text color. Color is for text and background is for the background. Okay, so color of white. Okay, so it applies to all of them. Okay, so but there are scenarios where we want to be specific with a particular kind of div or a particular kind of element. That way we can define something like id, okay, or we define something like, let me look for the other one. Let me just say on this span, this first and second span, let me just give class and beauty. Okay, and then I have the same class here, class beauty. Okay, now nothing happens because we've not defined those things. So so everything is pretty much the same, but now we want to have an ID, and then we say first div. we say first div here. So we want to style this first div so that even when it is a div, we don't have okay, let me use it on this paragraph instead so that you understand what I'm talking about. So that even if it's a first paragraph, it does not do the same thing as this last paragraph. Okay, so nothing happens. So we need to go here and go and define something. So this is an ID, so you use hash. Okay, and then you have this. So if we say back, let me just use something else, font size 40 pixels for first p. So what will happen? The 40 pixels only affect the first paragraph because that's the one that has the ID for it. Now the thing with ID, ID should be used for principal elements that can be used once a page. You don't need to repeat them. So but classes should be used for reusable things you know you need a lot, so use classes. Okay, that's why you have two here. We can always add that class here. We'll see how to do that. So we have beauty class. So what if we have this beauty and then we say let me use color this time. Okay, let me just say text transform. Okay, text transform, and then we say uppercase so that you see the difference. So for every place that you have a beauty class, the text transform, notice the text transform here is capitalized and is capitalized. So if we apply that same class to this first div, you see that it will be capitalized. Okay, so let's see that now. So all we need to do is copy this class and add it here. So you can have both a class and a div on the same elements, no problems. So you see it is capitalized. Okay, so this is a bit about how you can come up live with your HTML, and I think that's pretty much everything, just to introduce HTML for PHP developers. So what you need to do, study the different tags we have, okay, and then study the different properties we have here, okay, the syntax and everything. All right, and I think we still have time left. Okay, so but anyways, I'll come up with web design courses that will really help you. So keep subscribing and checking my channel from time to time. You'll see very good web design courses. I had to rush over this for PHP developers. One love. Bye.